Well, I guess the LAPD is just going to keep Rajah Jackson on the street until he finally succeeds in his mission, just like the local police did in Charlotte with that monster on the train. It has now been 1 month since Rajah Jackson did what he did live on camera, tried to erase the life of a United States military veteran. More specifically, yet another very viral moment of a black man doing this to a white person. A lot of people moved on when we saw an even worse example on that train with the Ukrainian refugee who loved America, whose only crime was sitting in the wrong bus seat and being the wrong color. There can be no denying that what that man on the train did, what he did, because it was a white person, particularly a white woman, he announced as much. He went out of his way to not do that to the numerous black people sitting just as close to him. Why? Because she was white. That's why she died. This country has a long history of excusing behavior of a certain group, which is, and I'm going to be very specific, 18 to 40-year-old black men. They have a terminal addiction to not applying consequences to these men. Yeah, you could say, but Jeremy, look, the prisons are full of them. Not enough. Not enough. If a guy like that loser in North Carolina can be in and out of prison 13 times, he should have been in prison. Rajah Jackson is suffering from two forms of privilege. First of all, popularity privilege, and really by once removed, right? Like, he hasn't been arrested because he's Rampage Jackson's son, and there's money involved. People are probably getting paid off. I bet you Psycho Stu got paid off. I don't hate that I don't care if he decided, hey, this is a once in a lifetime payoff, and I'm okay. I survived it. I can now provide for my family. Rampage Jackson probably peeled him off $1 million or $2 million for him to go silent, and I don't blame the man for that. But I'm sure that happened. If it didn't happen, why hasn't he filed a lawsuit against Rajah Jackson? He's been out of the prison out of the hospital for weeks. You could say, Jeremy, it's not a priority. He's obviously still recovering. That's true. But if he never files a lawsuit against Rajah Jackson, then he took a payout. And again, I want to be crystal clear. I don't care if he took a payout, because now he could, provide for his family. I have no issue with him taking a payout. None. What I have an issue with is it has now been a month since Rajah Jackson did what he did. First, it was with the LAPD. Then it was with the state police. And not a single charge has been filed. This man is still walking free to go to have a mental health crisis on any other citizen that might be in the wrong place at the wrong time. He might suffer another mental health break at any moment, and another victim will be formed because the LAPD didn't want to put him in jail. The other form of privilege he has, of course, black privilege. That is a thing. That may ruffle your feathers to hear me say it, but it's true. He is a black man of note, and people like Gavin Newsom don't want to put more black men in jail. To me, the answer is simple. If you don't want to go to jail, don't try to kill a man. Now, thankfully, even Logan Paul, by the way, this is a week ago. This is the last major coverage. The last major coverage of this. If you go and search Rajah Jackson in the news, again, he tried to take a man's life live on TV. This is an open and shut case. The last article in the news, 3 weeks ago. There's an article 5 days ago that's talking about a video from 7 days ago, and there's nothing. I won't apologize for remarks about Raja Jackson incident. Okay. CNN hasn't written about it for 2 weeks. Like, this MSN article is just a rehash. This is just an older article. They say it's 6 days old, but it's weeks old because he woke up in the hospital a long time ago. Here's 2 weeks ago. Raja Jackson may not be arrested. On the Ariel Harwani show, Tom Lawler touched on the troubling situation. Am I surprised he hasn't been picked up? No. I think part of that is where it took place. I mean, pro wrestling, even today in 2024, especially, really on an independent level, is lawless to a certain degree. We've seen, there are receipts when it comes to this, but the company itself, Nox Pro, was trying to handle this kind of in-house. So I'm not surprised that Raja Jackson has not been picked up at this point. Nobody has your back, whether you think it's your friends in the business, whether it's a guy you have beef with, whether it's the promoters. Pro wrestling is a thankless endeavor. Here's what they had to say on Logan Paul to say about it.
The Raja Jackson situation, Rampage Jackson's son.
Yeah.
One of the nastiest videos that I've ever seen on the internet. Grisly, gnarly freaking stuff. And there's some gnarly stuff out there.
What's the update for the guy? Is he okay?
He still has not been... Yes, the guy, Psycho Stu. Psycho Stu is luckily recovering.
That's
okay. So Psycho Stu is recovering.
No.
He's awake. I think he's doing better.
He's in stable condition.
In stable condition.
That's great.
Raja still hasn't been arrested. And by the way, this isn't like a.
And by the way, this was a week ago. Another week has passed since this, and Logan Paul wrestles. He's a pro wrestler. He said, even these guys are like, what the hell? He hasn't been arrested?
A witch hunt. I'm not pushing for legislation reform or something here. But that seems a little crazy.
simple.
No,
he belongs in jail.
Assault.
I firmly 1,000% believe he belongs in jail.
Logan Paul. Logan Paul's redemption arc continues. He didn't mince words. He didn't say, well, it's complicated. No, he said he belongs in jail. By the way, if you're new to the channel or you haven't yet, please do subscribe or follow down below. It's hard to reach you guys. YouTube makes it extremely difficult, and I'm hoping that you'll subscribe or follow. I know you might have to make an account, but that way you can at least find my videos, kind of.
Assault is an understatement. He tried to kill a man.
Yep.
He tried to kill a man, and it was live streamed on his Kick channel. Because you are an angry young man who has a lot of pent up aggression, and you think people are playing with you, or whatever your interpretation of life is that's happening, or however you were treated in your life, doesn't mean you get to get in a ring and beat up a performer.
Or anybody on the street.
Especially, Jeff, definitely not anybody, but it's a situation where, okay, I'm a professional wrestler. I saw this. I know what it's supposed to look like, dude. You're in there trusting each other to put on a performance and make something look good and entertaining. To completely go off script and try to fucking kill someone.
No, you're mentally insane.
Is insane.
Thank you, fellas. And by the way, again, this was a week ago. These are California guys. They can't believe it. They can't believe that he hasn't been arrested. And I can't either. Although I'm a little more understanding of the way that these politics work and the way that the government writes excuses for this type of behavior from certain groups of people near every day. But at this point, there is no evidence he's going to be arrested. I don't think he will be. And all that says is this open season. If you want to say you felt disrespected, you get to go take the life of a white man. You want to say you're having a mental health crisis? You want to have a mental health episode? Okay. You get to do whatever you want if you're black. That's what this message is. Prove me wrong. Where are all the articles talking about and believe me, plenty of white people do stupid stuff too. But where are all the articles excusing it as a mental health break? Haven't seen a single one. Where are all the articles saying they had a tough upbringing? None. But where are all the articles saying it was a gang of youths committing a crime and they're referring to white people? They don't do that. The media, the legal system, Democrat judges, propagandists, they all do this. They make excuses for behavior. What you should have done is put him in jail immediately. You cannot possibly tell me that they need more time to build a case. You cannot tell me that they need more time to build a case. They don't. This is probably one of the easiest slam dunks that the police have ever had. Committed the crime on camera, admitted to it. All of the evidence is right there. Nothing to see here. Book him and cook him. Easy. He should already be in prison. But no, he's out walking the streets, and just in case another white man and military veteran happens to disrespect him and he has a mental health episode, he'll get to do it again. And maybe this time the guy won't survive. I'm sick and tired of this. And by the way, if a white man had done that to a black man, I would be calling for his arrest too. And and if the fact that a month had passed and it was a white man, I would think he had some sort of government connections too. It's absolutely absurd. Absolutely absurd that he's walking on this. I am convinced he's walking unless a miracle happens, and it's absolutely disgusting. There will be more people that have to suffer because of this.